And a very good morning. Sorry about a bit of a slow start getting hooked up. It is Tuesday, 17th of December, 7:45 Eastern. That's 12:45 GMT. Let's start, as always, on the dollar index. Dollar fighting back a little bit today. Let's look at the big picture. I have this descending trend line drawn in, looking for price action not to get above this descending trend line, not to get above resistance at 107. So sitting pretty flat, but with the US session underway in about an hour, US dollar is starting off on a strong front footing this morning, looking to test that resistance area, sitting at 106.66 and looking up at the resistance at 106.89, which is the 107 area. For now, price action contained within this 106 to 107 range. Big picture, 105 and 108. But for now, start of the day, US dollar looking strong. Let's see if US dollar can break above this resistance area over here, get back to test over 107, back to 108. Alternatively, sellers keep price action contained within this narrow triangle and descending trend line and come down and test the 106 level. So yesterday, kind of flat, and the day before with those two dojis. So far today, starting on the front foot. Let's have a look at our S&P 500. Wow, look how it's hanging around at that resistance area. Bias is definitely up, trend is still up, but unable to break above the 6,170. And we have support at 6,123. Yesterday, a green day, although very tight within this range. Today, starting off a little bit red, in other words, a bit of a sell-off, maybe some profit taking, a bit of a retracement at this resistance area here. And again, that resistance area between 6,124 on the downside and 6,171 on the upside. A little bit of a red candle, a little bit of a sell-off. However, the bias is certainly still up, and you can see that. Let's have a look at our commodities, starting with gold. Gold, bias looking down, a little bit down today as well. Yesterday, a bit of a doji, nothing really happened. Price action comfortable around that 2,650 level. We've got our resistance at 2,693. Let's call that 2,700. And I've got support at 2,634. And price action certainly contained within that range over the past few days. Sellers are going to look to test this 2,634 and come down to 2,600. That is the support level, the bottom of this range. Top of the range, 2,700, and there's a high at 2,723. The bias is down. My moving averages have crossed to the downside. Trend is down, lower highs, and could well be dictated to the direction of gold, depending on which way the US dollar goes. Remember, we have that inverse relationship traditionally. Strong US dollar, weak gold. Weak US dollar, strong gold. Let's look at Brent oil, our other commodity. Brent's come down. I can see that. Sure. Have a look over the last couple of days. Yesterday was unable to maintain above that $74 level. It's come down quite a bit today, testing the $73 level. And what's relevant is this ascending trend line, which I had drawn in up until yesterday. You can see how price action has now come below the descending trend line. We've taken out yesterday's low. So there is a turnaround here. We can see that. Sellers will look to test and come below the $73 level. Buyers will look for a bounce up of this $73 to come back up and test 74. There is the intraday range between $73 and $74. Bitcoin. Are we going to see, well, it seems like every day is a record high. Yesterday was a record high at 107,822. Again, today we are seeing a higher low, which is significant. We don't yet have a higher high, but buyers very much in control at $107,000, looking at almost 108,000 yesterday's high as the resistance level. So buyers are going to look to test the intraday resistance here at just over 107,000 and then look for resistance closer to 108,000. Sellers, of course, will want to first get below today's open, which is 106,000, and come down and test 105,300 on the downside. Buyers firmly in control, higher lows. Sellers have not yet really stepped in to turn this trend around, seem to be waiting on the sidelines until a genuine top has been formed. Good trading, guys. Let's keep that discipline. I'll see you at the end of day session. Good trading.